A genius hacker meets an untimely end, only to be reborn into the world of a cliché tragic romance novel she once read. She is now Gu Chu, the 5-year-old biological daughter of the story's relentlessly abused female lead, Gu Mengxi. A year has passed since her transmigration, and now the plot is finally kicking into motion. The story flashes back to the tragic life of her mother, Gu Mengxi. After being kidnapped as a child, she was adopted by a poor but kind foster mother. When her foster mother fell gravely ill, Mengxi was forced into the entertainment industry to pay for the medical bills. There, she caught the eye of Song Chen, a cold entertainment tycoon who made her his contractual lover because she resembled his first love. Despite the arrangement, they genuinely fell for each other. However, their happiness was shattered by the return of Song Chen's first love and the death of Mengxi's foster mother. Heartbroken and pregnant, Mengxi fled and gave birth to her daughter, Gu Chu, in secret. Back in the present, Gu Chu has just returned from school to find a visitor with her mother. The woman, Tang Chungxiu, introduces herself as Mengxi's biological mother and Chuchu's grandmother. She tearfully apologizes for losing Mengxi years ago and begs her to return to the wealthy Zhao family. Mengxi is moved by her mother's words, but Gu Chu, knowing the novel's dark plot, remains deeply suspicious. As the grandmother leaves in a luxury car, her kind demeanor vanishes, replaced by a cold, calculating expression. Later, Gu Chu questions her mother's naivety, pointing out that if the wealthy Zhao family truly cared, they would have found them much sooner. But Mengxi, desperate for a family, dismisses her daughter's concerns, believing a mother could never harm her own child. Gu Chu can only sigh at her mother's trusting nature, which she knows was the cause of her suffering in the original novel. In the book, Tang Chungxiu's invitation was a trap. She intended to marry Mengxi off to a vile, wealthy old man. The naive Mengxi was deceived, tortured, and ultimately killed. Her daughter, Gu Chu, was left to starve to death all alone. But this time, Gu Chu is determined to rewrite their fate. The next day, a driver takes them on the long road to the capital. Gu Chu cleverly questions the driver, asking why her supposedly loving grandmother didn't send a plane, which would only take 2 hours. The driver fumbles for an excuse, but Mengxi, ever the optimist, suggests her mother wanted to be discreet. Gu Chu inwardly despairs at her mother's inability to see the obvious red flags. They finally arrive at the opulent Zhao residence. Inside, they are led to a dining room where the rest of the family is waiting. Gu Chu sizes them up. Her father, Zhao Jing, is stern and intimidating, so she immediately dismisses him. Then she spots her brother, Zhao Yan. Remembering from the novel that he was the only kind person in the family and a future billionaire CEO, she decides he is the perfect ally to secure. Wasting no time, she runs to him with open arms, asking for a hug. Zhao Yan is charmed by the little girl and asks for her name. After she introduces herself, she cheekily reveals she knows all about his first love, a famous game streamer named Kid, and warns him that his parents will soon oppose the relationship. Just as she finishes, a glamorous young woman enters the room. This is Zhao Mansi, Mengxi's younger sister. Mansi puts on a show of sisterly affection, but Mengxi feels a subtle hostility from her. The family then brings up sending Gu Chu to kindergarten. The grandmother announces she's already chosen a prestigious school called Royal Kindergarten. Mengxi expresses some concern, but the others pressure her, saying it's for the child's own good. Gu Chu knows this is the first major step in their evil plan. In the original novel, Royal Kindergarten was a front, a torture chamber used to separate mother and child. The Zhao family's true goal was to isolate Mengxi and coerce her into marrying the old man by using her abused daughter as leverage. Determined to prevent this, Gu Chu clings to her new uncle, begging to play with him instead of going to school. Her plea makes Zhao Yan suspicious. He finds it strange that his profit-driven parents, who never cared before, are suddenly so affectionate towards their long-lost daughter. He decides to investigate the matter thoroughly. Later, Zhao Mansi leads Gu Chu to a lavish, pink-themed bedroom filled with dolls. Mansi scoffs at how easily a child from the countryside is impressed. Gu Chu, however, is internally unimpressed by the childish decor, fantasizing instead about sports cars and unlimited credit cards. Mansi then tries to pry into who Gu Chu's father is. On high alert, Gu Chu whispers that her father is a diver. When Mansi presses for more, Gu Chu spins a ridiculous tale about her father being the world's best diver, who has been submerged in the sea for 5 years and hasn't come up yet. Infuriated by the obvious lie, Mansi storms out. Alone, Gu Chu gets to work. Using the computer in her room, the genius hacker quickly finds a damning news report about Royal Kindergarten, exposing it as a dilapidated, terrible school. She then contacts one of her old subordinates, who sends her a file of confidential information on her biological father, Song Chen. Before her mother returns, she leaves the exposé on the kindergarten open on the screen and pretends to be asleep. As expected, Manxie sees the article on the computer. She is shocked to see that the prestigious school is a dangerous ruin. Her mother's words of reassurance now ring hollow and false in her memory. Just then, Gu Chu wakes up and innocently tells her mother that Aunt Mancy had also been using the computer and had asked intrusive questions about her father. She then adds that Mancy called her a little bastard. This is the final straw. Manxie finally realizes her family has malicious intentions. Meanwhile, on a balcony, Tang Chungsu is on the phone with the grotesque Mr. Lai, finalizing her plan to sell her daughter. She sends him a photo of Manxie and arranges a meeting for the next day. After the call, Mancy expresses her approval, callously remarking that a widow like her sister is a perfect match for the old lecherous man. The next morning, Tang Chungsu tries to send Manxie to the family company, a clear attempt to separate her from her daughter. Zhao Yan, already suspicious, offers to take Gu Chu to the kindergarten himself. Suddenly, a loud crash echoes from upstairs. Everyone rushes to find Gu Chu on the floor, her foot bleeding amidst the shards of a broken vase. Mancy panics, claiming she just tried to pick Gu Chu up when her arm suddenly hurt, causing her to drop the child and knock over the vase. Gu Chu, playing the part of a terrified but kind child, tearfully tells her uncle not to blame her auntie, saying she was just careless. Zhao Yan picks up the injured girl and declares he's taking her to the hospital. In the car, both he and Manxie gently ask Gu Chu what really happened. Finally letting the truth spill out, Gu Chu cries that she doesn't want to be separated from her mama or get a new dad. She reveals that Auntie Mancy called her dirty and threw her on the ground. This revelation horrifies Manxie, confirming her worst fears. At the hospital, after Gu Chu's foot is bandaged, Manxie realizes how close she came to sending her daughter into a nightmare. Feeling utterly betrayed, she wonders why the Zhao family brought her back only to treat her so cruelly. Zhao Yan, seeing her distress, tells her not to return to the Zhao residence and offers his own apartment for them to stay in. Manxie calls her mother, calmly stating that Gu Chu needs to stay in the hospital. Tang Chungsu puts on a facade of concern but is internally furious, realizing Manxie is growing suspicious and her plan is at risk. The next day after leaving the hospital, Manxie and Gu Chu arrive at Zhao Yan's beautiful home. As her mother leaves to investigate the kindergarten herself, she is intercepted by Tang Chungsu. The old woman puts on a tearful performance, trying to guilt-trip Manxie into meeting some relatives, but Manxie is no longer fooled. Despite her refusal, Tang Chungsu forcefully pushes her toward a waiting car, determined not to let her escape. Back at Zhao Yan's apartment, Gu Chu waits for her mother to return. As time ticks by, she grows anxious and tries to call, but the line is dead. A dreadful realization hits her. The plot is unfolding just as it did in the novel, and her mother is being led into a trap with Mr. Lai. Panicked, she calls her uncle Zhao Yan, crying that her mama is missing. He promises to be there immediately, while Gu Chu fumes at the helplessness of being a 5-year-old. She knows Tang Chungsu plans to frame Manxie in a fake affair to ruin her reputation and force her into marriage. Zhao Yan quickly tracks his mother to the Empire Hotel. He tells Gu Chu to wait in the car while he goes to find Manxie. Though Gu Chu agrees, she has no intention of staying put. Arguing that it's unsafe for a child to be left alone in a car, she slips out and follows him into the hotel. Gu Chu knows the trap is set on the 30th floor and that she has to reach her mother before Tang Chungsu arrives with the witnesses. She makes it to the elevator only to face a new obstacle. She's too short to press the button. Just then she spots a tall, imposing man walking by. It's Song Chen, her oblivious biological father. Seeing her chance, Gu Chu puts on a tearful performance. She tugs on Song Chen's expensive suit, asking the tall uncle if he's seen her mama, and explaining that she can't reach the button for the 30th floor. Song Chen's assistant is appalled by the child's audacity, but Song Chen, seemingly amused, wordlessly presses the button for her. As the doors close, Gu Chu silently celebrates her small victory, thinking about the novel's tragic irony. Her blind father had no idea his real savior from a childhood drowning incident was Gu Manxie, not the villainess he'd been doting on for years. The elevator doors open, and Song Chen leaves without giving her a second thought. Gu Chu quickly exits, determined to find her uncle and save her mom. In the hallway, she bumps into a handsome blonde man who recognizes her. It's Cheng Kai, the young master of the powerful Cheng family. An assistant rushes to Cheng Kai's side, reporting that Madame Zhao has booked room 3019 with Mr. Lai. Gu Chu recalls that Cheng Kai was a minor character in the novel who died young, and she wonders about his unexpected connection to her mother. Not wasting a second, Cheng Kai orders his assistant to watch over Gu Chu and sprints toward the room. He bursts in to find the repulsive Mr. Lai assaulting a drugged and helpless Manxi. With a furious roar, Cheng Kai sends the man flying with a single powerful kick. He gently comforts the terrified Manxi just as a stunned Mr. Lai recognizes him and stammers that Manxi is his fiancé. At that moment, Guchu runs in and happily reunites with her mother. Manxi clutches her, tears of relief streaming down her face. Mr. Lai, seeing the child, becomes enraged, claiming Tang Chungsu had lied to him about Manxi's past. Before he can say more, their confrontation is interrupted by the dramatic arrival of Tang Chungsu, Zhao Yan, and other relatives, who have come to catch Manxi in the act. Tang Chungsu loudly accuses her daughter of infidelity, but her performance falters when she sees not only Gu Chu, but also the young master of the Cheng family present. Zhao Yan rushes to Manxi's side, relieved she's unharmed. Cheng Kai's assistant announces that he's calling the police to report an assault. Panicked Mr. Lai blurts out that Tang Chungsu arranged the entire thing, promising him her daughter's hand in marriage. From the safety of her mother's arms, Gu Chu innocently asks if this ugly man who looks like pork fat is her new fiancé. As Mr. Lai and Tang Chungsu try to flee, Cheng Kai blocks their path, coolly informing them that the hotel is owned by his family. He explains he heard cries for help and suggests Manxi be tested for drugs. Cornered, Tang Chungsu desperately tries to lie, but Manxi has had enough. She confronts her mother about the drugged water and the web of deceit, punctuating her words with a sharp slap across Tang Chungsu's face. The Zhao family elder arrives, attempting to de-escalate and preserve the family's reputation by belittling Manxi as a woman with a child out of wedlock. Disgusted, Manxi stands firm and tells Cheng Kai to proceed with calling the police. Back at Zhao Yan's apartment, he informs Manxi that due to their family's influence, Mr. Lai will face minimal jail time. Manxi, though disheartened, is resolute. Her plans to return to her quiet life are dashed when Zhao Yan reveals the Zhao family has already sold her house. He insists they stay with him where he can protect them. Meanwhile, at the Zhao residence, Tang Chungsu and her husband argue over the failed plot. She quickly pivots to a new scheme, marrying Manxi off to the powerful President Song Chen. Their plotting is cut short when news breaks that the Lai group is collapsing under a mountain of scandals, with Mr. Lai arrested on 18 charges. The Zhao family's business is now in jeopardy. At the Cheng Manor, Cheng Kai is also intrigued by the news. He's been tracking a mysterious elite hacker who just leaked the Lai family's secrets, and the IP address traces back to Manxi's current location. He recalls a past encounter where he tracked the same hacker, whom he believed to be a man, only to discover after a one-night stand that he was a woman in disguise. Days later, Gu Chu finds herself in kindergarten, a consequence of her mother's decision to stay and build a new life in the capital. She is utterly bored by the simple lessons until she is called on to answer a question. She answers correctly, earning a small red flower and the applause of her classmates, all while internally wishing she could just grow up already. That weekend, Gu Chu is woken by noise and finds Zhao Yan's secret love, the game streamer Lin Xiao Zhu, also known as Kid, in one of the rooms. Annoyed by his loud and overly cheerful personality, Gu Chu decides to play matchmaker. She cleverly twists Kid's words of brotherly love for her uncle into a proposal, asking why he can't be her auntie if they like each other. Her innocent question leaves Kid flustered, but Gu Chu is dead serious. She recalls from the novel the tragic fate that awaits him. As they leave to go shopping, she notices a camera in the bushes, capturing photos of Zhao Yan and Kid together. She knows the Zhao family will soon discover their son's relationship and orchestrate Kid's downfall, leading to his public ruin and eventual suicide. A week later, Manxi and Zhao Yan leave for an overseas business trip, entrusting Gu Chu to Kid's care. As they depart, Gu Chu silently vows to protect them both and prevent the tragedies of the novel from ever happening. The day of the streamer's annual conference arrives. Kid invites Gu Chu to come along, and she eagerly accepts, secretly planning to use the event to append the novel's tragic plot. At the dazzling venue, fans scream Kid's name, but Gu Chu knows their adoration is fleeting and will turn to hatred once the impending scandal breaks. Kid leaves for a pre-show interview, and a woman in a slinky dress approaches. It's Bai Yi, the rival streamer who, in the original story, falsely accuses Kid of sexual harassment to boost her own fame. Before Kid leaves, his assistant, Fang, reminds him to meet with the young master of the Cheng family, who is hosting the conference. Fang then offers to hold Kid's phone for safekeeping, but Gu Chu, knowing the assistant has been bribed to steal it, quickly intervenes. She sweetly asks to borrow the phone to play a game, and Kid, unable to refuse his little cutie, hands it over, thwarting the plot. Phone in hand, Gu Chu notices that Bai Yi and Fang are exchanging nervous glances. Her plan is interrupted when she literally bumps into her biological father, Song Chen. Without missing a beat, she launches herself at his leg, calling him long-legged uncle. Bai Yi tries to apologize on her behalf, but Song Chen simply warns her to keep a better eye on the child before walking away. Now it's time to set her own trap. Gu Chu approaches Bai Yi and says she needs to use the bathroom, innocently asking her to hold the phone. The woman's eyes light up as she eagerly takes the bait. With the evidence now in the enemy's hands, Gu Chu heads for the lounge. She knows that in the novel, Kid's chronic stomach illness flares up, causing him to collapse alone and unheard while Bai Yi uses his phone to frame him. She finds the lounge door and is about to enter when she hears a scuffle from inside. Peeking in, she sees Cheng Kai standing over the bloodied body of a failed assassin. Seizing the opportunity, Gu Chu bursts in, crying that her brother Xiao Zhu has fainted from a stomachache and needs a doctor. Despite the bizarre scene he was just in, Cheng Kai agrees to help, promising to call an ambulance. Kid is taken away in a private ambulance. In the hospital room, Gu Chu confirms with the nurse that all surveillance is off, then turns to Cheng Kai with teary eyes and asks him to turn the cameras on, worried her friend's company might think he ran off. Amused, he complies, unwittingly completing her trap. The move makes him wonder if this clever 5-year-old could be the legendary hacker he's been searching for. Meanwhile, Bai Yi and the treacherous assistant celebrate their apparent success, having sent the incriminating messages from Kid's phone. The next day, the internet explodes with accusations against Kid, complete with screenshots of the fake texts. While Kid lies unconscious in the hospital, the web is flooded with hate. Cheng Kai arrives to find Gu Chu putting on a masterful performance of a scared, lonely child. He comforts her, but his mind is racing. He starts asking questions about her mother, and his blushing reaction when Chu calls him Brother Cheng Kai confirms her suspicions. The 15-year-old young master has a massive crush on her mom. Changing the subject, Cheng Kai reveals he has a plan to help Kid and offers to get Chu a laptop to pass the time. Thrilled, she immediately gets to work, tasking her old subordinate with hacking the Orange live streaming platform for its transaction records. When Kid finally wakes up, he's horrified by the news. His frantic call to his company director is met with cold dismissal. He's been fired and abandoned. As he despairs, Cheng Kai enters and offers him a contract with his family's superior platform, Hongtao Live, promising to handle the scandal and pay off all his contract penalties. At the Orange Live offices, Bai Yi and her boss are celebrating when news breaks that Hongtao has not only signed Kid, but has also released surveillance footage, proving he was unconscious in an ambulance when the messages were sent. Just as their scheme unravels, another crisis hits. A crazed fan of Bai Yi, spurred on by her fabricated victim narrative, attacks Kid and Zhao Yan outside the hospital. Zhao Yan jumps in front of Kid, taking a knife to the arm. Enraged, Kid grabs a broom and savagely beats the attacker, who confesses that Bai Yi's tearful stream drove him to violence. In the aftermath, Orange Live goes bankrupt and Bai Yi faces legal charges. With the crisis averted, Kid invites Manxi and Gu Chu to join him on the set of a promotional video shoot for a new game. On a rainy day at the studio, a production assistant is stunned by Manxi's beauty and begs her to fill in for the female lead who just quit. Manxi is hesitant, wanting to avoid the spotlight, but with some encouragement from Kid and Gu Chu, she reluctantly agrees. When she emerges from makeup in a stunning traditional gown, everyone is captivated by her ethereal beauty. Unbeknownst to them, the footage finds its way to two powerful men. The video's original director, Liu Shanyi, sees the final cut and is thunderstruck. It's the woman he was inspired by and has been searching for 5 years. At the same time, Song Chen sees the promotional video and is captivated by the woman's familiar, graceful back, furiously ordering his assistant to find out who she is immediately. Song Chen's assistant informs him that the woman in the promo video, a Miss Gu, is an acquaintance of the streamer Kid and provides her current address. Song Chen adjusts his appearance in the rearview mirror, ensuring he looks perfect before heading out to finally reunite with the woman he sought for 5 long years. He arrives just as Manxi is leaving, confirming his hopes. It really is her. Overwhelmed, he orders his assistant to follow her car, vowing not to lose her again. From the car, Song Chen watches Manxi pick up Gu Chu from kindergarten with Zhao Yan. Mistaking their friendly rapport for a happy family, his heart sinks. He assumes Manxi has moved on and built a new life, a life determined to exclude him. Defeated, he tells his assistant to stop following them and drives away. Several days later, Gu Chu waits impatiently outside her kindergarten, annoyed that her dog dad still hasn't found them despite the widespread game commercial. She contemplates whether she needs to spoon-feed him a photo of them to move the plot forward, just as a strange man approaches. Before she can react, he clamps a hand over her mouth and shoves her into a van. In the vehicle, the kidnappers note the child's eerie calm, but their primary focus is the money. They mention their boss wants this worthless little girl gone from the world. Guchu pretends to be terrified, but she's already putting the pieces together. The kidnappers drive to a remote shack where they meet their leader, the disgraced streamer Bai Yi. The goons explain that their original target was Kid, but since he was too difficult to grab, their boss ordered them to take the child instead. Bai Yi confirms that she was instructed to eliminate the stain that is Gu Chu, but assures the girl that she won't be killed if she behaves. Gu Chu meekly agrees, all the while preparing her next move. That night, one of the kidnappers, moved by Gu Chu's tale of a pitiful life, is on the verge of sympathy. Gu Chu continues to lay it on thick, tearfully telling him not to let her mother find her body as it would break her heart. The man is completely won over by her act, his resolve to harm her crumbling. As he sends her back inside, Gu Chu notices the good luck charm his mother gave him and knows she has successfully manipulated him. Later, she stages an escape attempt, luring the other kidnapper to chase her. Faking a fall, she spins a terrifying tale about a blood-soaked girl with pigtails calling to her from outside. Her story triggers the kidnapper's buried trauma of a past crime, sending him into a screaming panic as he's haunted by the ghost of his victim. Bai Yi and the other goon are alerted by the noise, and Gu Chu seizes the chance to sow discord. She tearfully claims Sister Bai gave the panicked man a bottle of water just before he collapsed. The remaining kidnapper, remembering Bai Yi offering him a drink earlier, immediately suspects she's trying to poison them to take all the ransom money for herself. Meanwhile, a police captain surveilling the shack reports the internal conflict to Song Chen. Gu Chu, hiding and watching the chaos unfold, smirks, knowing her plan worked perfectly. Just then, an officer swoops in and carries her to safety. The police raid the shack, arresting Bai Yi and her crew. Outside, Song Chen rushes to Gu Chu, anxiously asking if she's hurt. Amused by his concern, Gu Chu plays the part of a sweet, grateful child, thanking Uncle Song for saving her. The word uncle stings Song Chen, who decides to gently probe about her father. Gu Chu, however, cheekily declares that her dad, a diver, went on a trip 5 years ago and never came back, so he must be dead. Back at the apartment, Mengxi tearfully embraces her daughter, relieved she's safe. Song Chen, playing the concerned hero, suggests they get her something to eat, much to the annoyance of a watchful Zhao Yan. On a call, Cheng Kai learns that 2 of the kidnappers are now fighting to the death, and the third has gone insane. A fitting end orchestrated by his young, brilliant ace of hearts. In the living room, Zhao Yan watches Song Chen interact with Mengxi and Gu Chu, his jealousy flaring as he sees the man he perceives as a rival worming his way into their lives. A few days later, Zhao Yan reveals the results of the police investigation. It was Tang Chengxiu who instigated Bai Yi, but the other 2 kidnappers were hired by a mysterious person in the U.S. Mengxi is baffled, but Gu Chu immediately suspects the novel's ultimate villainess, Cheng Qingyun, who was receiving treatment in the U.S., and saw Mengxi as a threat to her relationship with Song Chen. The thought of her mother's gruesome fate in the original story, having her kidney forcibly removed for Cheng Qingyun, fills Gu Chu with a cold fury. Her train of thought is interrupted by a shocking discovery. The kidnapper's communication IP traces back to Mori Manor in the U.S. A familiar name sends a jolt through her. Moriah. An email notification pops up with an invitation. See you at the World Hacking Championship. Moriah. The name belongs to the rival hacker who hunted her in her past life, the man she accidentally had a one-night stand with. A horrifying possibility dawns on her. Could he have transmigrated into this world too? With her rival hacker making a move, Gu Chu declares a digital war, launching a counterattack that causes a power outage at Mori Manor in the U.S. Across the ocean, a man holding an Ace of Hearts card realizes his old adversary is back. The next day, Mengxi watches her daughter happily eating breakfast, relieved that the kidnapping didn't traumatize her. Knowing the truth about Song Chen's identity will eventually come out, she gently asks Gu Chu if she'd like to meet her father. Gu Chu, wanting only what's best for her mother, agrees to meet him, which moves Mengxi to tears. Song Chen arrives with a Barbie doll, nervously anticipating the reunion. His fantasy of a heartwarming moment is shattered when Cheng Kai also shows up. Song Chen jealously asserts his claim on his wife, but the housekeeper lets Cheng Kai in, leaving a dumbfounded Song Chen on the doorstep. Even worse, his old rival Lu Shanhe pulls up on a motorcycle. Lu Shanhe reminisces about how he discovered Mengxi's talent and how her career was cut short by Song Chen. While the 2 men trade barbs, Gu Chu enjoys the sweets Cheng Kai brought, inwardly critiquing his attempt to win her mother over with sugary treats. The tense atmosphere is broken when the housekeeper announces another visitor for Mengxi. Lu Shan greets her warmly with a hug, calling her by her old stage name Duoxi. Song Chen, clutching his rejected gift, watches in despair as his love rivals swarm around Manxi. Guchu bluntly tells Lu Shan she wants game figurines, not dolls, and then rejects Song Chen's Barbie to his face, causing him to dramatically throw the gift away in frustration. As Lu Shan leaves, he urges Manxi to consider his offer. Song Chen lingers, attempting to confess his true feelings, but Manxi cuts him off. She coldly tells him to stay away, warning that his obsessive admirer was behind the kidnapping and will continue to endanger Guchu. A month later, Guchu reports to her mother that Song Chen has been visiting every day, only to be turned away by her uncle. Manxi, focused on her work and studying Lu Shan's script, is becoming a stronger, more independent woman. The doorbell rings and Guchu rushes to answer it, expecting her uncle. Instead, she finds her wicked aunt, Zhao Mansi, on the doorstep. Mansi sneers at their rundown apartment, revealing she's there to get an introduction to director Lu Shan, hoping to land a movie role and finally win over Song Chen. Guchu wastes no time putting her aunt in her place, calling her non-recyclable trash. Mansi, trying to maintain her composure, launches into a condescending speech about Manxi's unsuitability for acting, bragging that Lu Shan once asked for her business card. When Manxi and Guchu finally tell her to be quiet, Lu Shan himself arrives at the door. He greets them warmly, giving Guchu the figurine she asked for while completely ignoring a stunned Manxi. Manxi tries to introduce herself, but Lu Shan brushes her off. She then resorts to mocking Manxi's script revisions, but the director surprisingly validates Manxi's suggestions. Humiliated and enraged, Manxi is finally thrown out after Lu Shan yells at her for being too noisy. As she storms off, Manxi vows revenge, while Manxi turns to her and drops the act, revealing she knows Lu Shan is her mentor. Later, Manxi orders Manxi to get out of her brother's apartment. When Manxi taunts her, Guchu bites her hand, warning her to leave before she calls for the dog. After Manxi flees, Manxi gently scolds Guchu for her behavior, but the little girl sees the fire in her mother's eyes. The tragic heroine is finally awakening. A few days later, Song Chen takes Guchu to visit Lu Shan at his studio, hoping to provoke his rival. In the car, he asks her who she likes more, him or Uncle Lu. Guchu, seeing through his childish jealousy, diplomatically says she likes everyone. At the studio, Lu Shan is berating an actor when he spots Song Chen and Guchu arriving. Guchu's presence instantly softens his harsh demeanor. To Song Chen's dismay, Guchu immediately runs to Uncle Lu for a hug. During lunch, the two men childishly compete for Guchu's affection, with the little girl cleverly playing them against each other. Song Chen takes a business call, leaving Guchu alone. Feeling thirsty, she goes to get a drink from the fridge. She hears a strange spring-loaded sound just as a spotlight from the ceiling crashes down, and a stuntman named Zhang Kai shoves her out of the way, taking the blow himself. Everyone rushes to the scene, and Zhang Kai is taken to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctor reports that Guchu has only minor scrapes, but Zhang Kai has a concussion and glass shards in his leg. Song Chen, furious, accuses Lu Shan of having outdated equipment, but the director and his assistant insist everything is regularly maintained. Guchu, however, remembers the sound she heard from the fridge and realizes it was a trap meant for Lu Shan. Enraged, the director orders the police to be called and the surveillance footage reviewed. At the hospital, Manxi and Guchu visit Zhang Kai, the stuntman who saved the little girl. He's flustered when he recognizes Manxi as his idol Gu Ryuoxi from 5 years ago. He gushes about being her fan and laments her sudden disappearance from the spotlight. Guchu learns that Zhang Kai was a promising actor whose career was ruined after being framed, leading him to become a stuntman. Suspecting foul play, she makes a mental note to investigate his past. Lu Shan then offers Zhang Kai a role in his new film alongside Manxi, leaving the stuntman ecstatic. Later, as they are leaving, they run into Zhang Kai. Guchu finds it strange that he shows no interest in her mother, despite his obvious crush. Her suspicion is confirmed when his assistant reports that the accident on set was deliberate and likely aimed at Lu Shan. Zhang Kai orders his men to keep an eye on the director, realizing the world of the novel is more dangerous than he thought. The next day, Song Chen arrives with a car full of fresh groceries. He's interrupted by a call from Lu Shan, who has identified the saboteur, Zhang Rui, a failed actor with a grudge. Song Chen heads to the studio to handle the situation, promising Manxi he'll return to cook for her. At the studio, Guchu sneaks into the trunk of Song Chen's car, wanting to witness the confrontation firsthand. Song Chen is shocked to find her but is secretly thrilled by her affection. When they arrive, Lu Shan teases him about bringing his daughter along, but Song Chen proudly retorts that his daughter just can't bear to be away from him. Lu Shan informs him that Zhang Rui has been apprehended. The disgraced actor confesses he was paid by Wang Entertainment to sabotage the studio. Song Chen, whose company dominates the market, vows to crush the rival group for their audacity. Back at the apartment, the police reveal their findings to Manxi and Zhao Yan. They've discovered that Jiang Cheng, a top actor from Wang Entertainment, paid Zhang Rui to sabotage the set. Jiang Cheng, they learn, is the third male lead from the novel, a man hopelessly in love with Manxi. As they talk, Lu Shan and Jiang Cheng arrive at the door. Lu Shan greets Jiang Cheng as an old friend, and the two exchange pleasantries and gifts. The conversation is interrupted by Song Chen's arrival. The two rivals, Lu Shan and Song Chen, immediately start bickering, prompting a video call from a frantic Manxi. She tells them she can't find Chuchu, but the little girl pops up on screen, revealing she stowed away in Uncle Song's car. The call ends with Lu Shan and Jiang Cheng watching in silent fury as Manxi and Song Chen's bond deepens. Jiang Cheng wonders about Manxi's identity and her connection to both Lu Shan and Song Chen. After Song Chen leaves with Gu Chu, Jiang Cheng asks Lu Shan if he knows the child's mother. Lu Shan cryptically replies that it's a secret for now but promises he'll be shocked when he finds out. The exchange leaves Jiang Cheng feeling curious and a little jealous. A few days later, Cheng Qingyun's best friend, Cao Yuezhi, visits her at the Song Group building. Yuezhi is surprised that the female lead for Lu Shan's new movie is an unknown newcomer named Gu Manxi. The name sends a jolt through Cheng Qingyun. It's the same woman she drove away 5 years ago. Furious that her rival has returned, she vows to crush her once and for all. Back at the apartment, Cheng Kai arrives to find Gu Chu struggling with her homework. He gallantly offers his help and she happily accepts. As he sits with her, he asks what kind of boys she likes, and she describes her ideal man, unknowingly painting a perfect picture of her mysterious pursuer from her past life, Shen Si. Panicked, Song Chen scoops up Gu Chu and orders all doctors in the building to stand by. At Song Chen's office, Gu Chu sweetly asks if she can taste the chicken soup that Auntie Chef made. As she slurps it down, Cheng Qingyun fumes, watching the soup she painstakingly prepared for Song Chen get devoured by a child. When asked who the girl is, Song Chen, wanting to protect her identity, lies and says she's the child of a business partner. Sensing the game, Qingyun introduces herself to Gu Chu and then pointedly clarifies that she is Song Chen's fiancé, not his chef. She explains that a fiancé is someone you marry, and in the future, she will be marrying Uncle Song. Song Chen immediately denies it, but the damage is done. Qingyun is humiliated by the public rejection. After arranging for a driver to take her home, Qingyun feigns a sudden chest pain. But her dramatic display is cut short when Gu Chu clutches her own stomach and screams in agony. Panicked, Song Chen scoops up Gu Chu and orders all doctors in the building to stand by. He completely ignores Qingyun's act, telling his assistant to send her to the Cheng family hospital while he rushes Gu Chu for an examination. A doctor quickly diagnoses Gu Chu with simple diarrhea. But Qingyun, watching from the side, realizes the child was faking and is a far bigger threat than she imagined. Later, Song Chen sits down with a recovering Gu Chu and gently confronts her about feigning illness. Gu Chu admits she doesn't like Miss Cheng, calling her fierce and scary. When Song Chen defends Qingyun, Gu Chu insists the woman is also faking her illness. Her words plant a seed of doubt in Song Chen's mind, and he promises to investigate. Overjoyed that her plan worked, he then embraces her, promising to protect her and her mother for a lifetime. In the car, Gu Chu tells Cheng Kai that she has to go home for an audition for a role in Lu Shan's new film. She explains that she misses her mom, who has been busy on set with the villainous Cao Yuezhi. In the car on the way to the studio, Zhao Mansi complains to her mother about Manxi landing the role with director Lu. Tang Chengxiu advises her to use the opportunity to get close to Song Chen, who often visits the set. At the studio, Mansi spots a handsome man in a classic suit and is instantly smitten, only to be saved by him from a runaway rickshaw. She learns he's an actor on set and begins plotting how to win him over. Her fantasy is shattered when the man changes into modern clothes and reveals himself to be Gu Manxi, who had been filming a scene in male attire. Mortified that she fell for her own sister in disguise, Mansi flees in tears. Back at the apartment, Lu Shan officially offers Manxi the lead role in his new film, The Dream in the Spring Wind, opposite Jiang Cheng. The news leaks online, and the internet erupts with angry comments from Cao Yuezhi's fans, who accuse Manxi of stealing the role through connections. Lu Shan confronts Song Chen, blaming him for the controversy, but Song Chen coolly replies that he has it handled. He then reveals his trump card. He has arranged for Lu Shan's internationally acclaimed but previously banned film starring Manxi, Falling Blossoms in Youth, to be officially unbanned. The film's release silences the haters, as audiences are captivated by Manxi's phenomenal acting, solidifying her comeback. A few days later, Song Chen arrives at his office carrying Gu Chu, much to the shock of his employees. Their private time is interrupted by the arrival of Cheng Qingyun, who has brought him homemade chicken soup. Gu Chu, feigning innocence, loudly praises the soup, then pointedly asks who the pretty auntie is. When Qingyun introduces herself as Song Chen's fiancée, Gu Chu mischievously declares she must be the family's chef. Manxi and Gu Chu visit Zhang Kai in the hospital where he is recovering well. He is flustered to meet his idol Gu Ruoxi in person, and she confirms that was her old stage name. Gu Chu, however, is suspicious of his pristine past and resolves to investigate the truth behind his downfall. Just then, Lu Shan announces that once Zhang Kai has healed, he can join the film crew, fulfilling the stuntman's dream of acting alongside his idol. On the way out, they run into Cheng Kai. Gu Chu finds it strange that the boy, who clearly has a crush on her mother, barely glances at Manxi and doesn't use the child's injury as an excuse to get closer. Later, Cheng Kai learns from his assistant that the accident at the studio was a deliberate attack on Lu Shan, and Gu Chu was simply collateral damage. He orders his subordinate to keep a close watch on the director, realizing the world he's been reborn into has its own dangerous undercurrents. The next day, Song Chen arrives with a carload of groceries, but his plans are interrupted by a call from Lu Shan. The director has identified the saboteur as Zhang Rui, a washed-up actor from a previous audition. Promising Manxi a home-cooked meal upon his return, Song Chen rushes to the studio. Unbeknownst to him, Gu Chu has snuck into his car's trunk, eager to witness the confrontation. At the studio, Lu Shanhe reveals that he tricked Zhang Rui into returning for another audition and caught him red-handed. The disgraced actor admits he holds a grudge and was paid by Wang Entertainment to sabotage the production. Furious, Song Chen vows to make them pay. That evening, Manxi is shocked to learn from Zhao Yan that Jiang Cheng, her new co-star and a top actor at Wang Entertainment, was the one who paid Zhang Rui. Soon after, both Lu Shan and Jiang Cheng arrive at the apartment. Lu Shan greets Jiang Cheng warmly, explaining that he's a talented actor who was forced into the scheme by his company. The tense reunion is interrupted by the arrival of Song Chen, who squares off with Lu Shan. Their argument is cut short by a video call from Manxi, who is frantically searching for Gu Chu. On the call, Gu Chu cheerfully reveals she stowed away in Uncle Song's car to play with him. The tender moment between father and daughter leaves Lu Shan and Jiang Cheng seething with jealousy. Afterward, Jiang Cheng asks Lu Shan about Gu Chu's mother. The director cryptically promises that he will be shocked when he finds out, leaving Jiang Cheng even more curious. The next day, Manxi is on set when she's approached by two extras gossiping about her and the director. Just as they insinuate she slept her way into the role, Zhao Mansi appears and fiercely defends her sister, threatening the gossips with her connections to the studio owner. Mansi's sudden change of heart is short-lived. She's only defending Manxi because she believes she fell in love with her when she was disguised as a man. The crew calls a wrap for the day and the staff praises Manxi's incredible performance, much to Mansi's annoyance. Later, Cao Yuezhi arrives and attempts to pull one of Gu Chu's hairs, but the little girl dodges her. Her plan to get a DNA sample is foiled when a famous idol, Yi Qian, intervenes, accusing Yuezhi of bullying a child. Gu Chu recognizes Qian from the novel as a kind-hearted actress whose career was ruined after she stood up for Zhang Kai against Yuezhi's schemes. As Zhang Kai is being fitted with a wire rig for a stunt, Gu Chu, knowing the novel's plot, inspects the equipment herself. She covertly switches out the frayed wire with a new one she brought, ensuring his safety. Moments later, Zhang Kai is hoisted into the air when his pants suddenly fall, causing the crew to halt the stunt at 5 meters. Just as a laughing crew member starts to lower him, the original wire snaps. Though Zhang Kai is embarrassed, Gu Chu's quick thinking has saved him from a deadly fall. The crew discovers the wire was deliberately cut, and a furious Lu Shan orders a full investigation. That night, Song Chen is confronted by his grandfather, who questions his frequent visits to Lu Shan's film set. The old man sees through his grandson's flimsy excuses and correctly guesses that his engagement to Cheng Qingyun is a sham. To Song Chen's horror, his grandfather misinterprets his interest in Lu Shan as romantic, and lamenting the end of the family line, gives his blessing. Frantically denying any romantic feelings for the director, Song Chen is given an ultimatum. Either break off the fake engagement or bring a great-grandchild to his upcoming 80th birthday party. At the film studio hotel, Zhang Kai's sister-in-law Xiao Zhu arrives looking for him, only to find Gu Chu in his room. She immediately suspects an affair. Gu Chu, recognizing the setup from the novel, quickly directs her to the correct room number, averting the scandal that would have ruined Zhang Kai's career. Later, Zhang Kai is having dinner with Xiao Zhu when Gu Chu, with her laptop in tow, detects a hidden camera. She immediately contacts her subordinate to monitor Xiao Zu's communications. Overhearing a phone call, she learns that her old hacker organization, Poker, has a branch in this world, and they've been invited to the same American competition as her. The revelation that she transmigrated because of a special stone her old partner was searching for only deepens the mystery. The next morning, Song Chen arrives to tutor a reluctant Gu Chu. She cleverly tricks him into taking her out for juice, and they end up at a restaurant where Xiao Zhu is waiting. Gu Chu activates a listening device and overhears Xiao Zhu's plan to drug Zhang Kai's soup and frame him in a honey trap. Back at the studio, Mengxi is on set when Cao Yuezhi shows up and attempts to get a hair sample from Gu Chu for a paternity test. Her plan is foiled when another actress, Yi Kaienqian, intervenes, accusing her of bullying a child. When Yuezhi tries to defend herself, Kaienqian calls out her hypocrisy, revealing a past incident where Yuezhi framed another actor. The confrontation escalates until Yuezhi is left humiliated and furious. As she storms off, she vows to get her revenge, unaware that Kaienqian is already one step ahead, having secured a multi-project contract with Lu Shan. With Chuchu's startling revelation, Mengxi is ready to spring into action, but Song Chen stops her. He calmly points out that they have no proof and that acting on a child's word alone is reckless. Seeing Mengxi's distress, he agrees to help and reassures Chuchu that a nanny is on the way before they leave. Chuchu is delighted, impressed that her father can be so reliable in a crisis. Song Chen takes Mengxi's hand, his cool-headedness a comfort to her. He suggests they head to the security room first, reasoning that any attempt to frame Zhang Kai would have left evidence behind. Meanwhile, in Zhang Kai's hotel room, his sister-in-law Xiao Zhu offers him a thermos of chicken soup, claiming it's from his wife. He tries to decline, but she insists he drink it while it's still hot. Just then, his phone rings. It's a call from Mengxi. As he steps away to answer, Xiao Zhu waits anxiously. Her sweet smile hides a wicked plan. The soup is laced with a drug designed to knock him unconscious. Her scheme is to climb into his bed and have her sister discover them, a plot to seize his entire fortune. On the phone, Song Chen and Mengxi deliver a stark warning. Xiao Zhu is trying to drug him. Zhang Kai is shocked, unable to believe someone so kind could be so treacherous. But they have proofs, explaining they've already found evidence of her collaborating with paparazzi. Song Chen reveals he even has a recording of their incriminating phone calls and will send someone to pick Zhang Kai up shortly. Though skeptical, Zhang Kai agrees to wait. After the call, he faces a persistent Xiao Zhu, who uses emotional blackmail to pressure him into drinking the soup. He finally gives in and drinks it all, much to her smug satisfaction. Thinking her plan is a success, Xiao Zhu leaves the room. The second she's gone, Zhang Kai rushes to the bathroom and spits the drugged soup into the toilet. Later that night, Xiao Zhu creeps back into the room, finding what she believes is an unconscious Zhang Kai in bed. As she prepares to stage the scene, she sneers at his supposed stupidity, believing a fool like him doesn't deserve his wealth. Suddenly, the door flies open and a crowd storms in, led by Zhang Kai's wife, Xiao Nan, who loudly accuses her husband of cheating. Xiao Zhu, feigning shock, asks what's happening. Xiao Nan puts on a dramatic display of betrayal for the cameras, sobbing about how her own sister could do this to her. Xiao Zhu plays the victim, falsely claiming Zhang Kai threatened her career to force himself on her. The family members shout their condemnation, ready to expose him. They rip the blanket off the bed but are met with a shocking sight. It's not Zhang Kai, but a completely unknown man looking back at them in confusion. The room falls into a stunned silence. At that moment, the real Zhang Kai enters the room, having been waiting outside the whole time. Xiao Nan tries to laugh it off as a misunderstanding, but Zhang Kai is finished with their games. He shoves her aside, coldly reminding them of all the financial support and opportunities he's given them, only to be repaid with this pathetic honey trap. The family scrambles to apologize, but it's too late. Zhang Kai's anger finally erupts. He lists all the money and cars they've leached off him before dropping the ultimate bombshell. He knows their son is not his, and he's been raising another man's child for 5 years. He then plays a recording of the sisters plotting against him, which confirms their entire scheme, including the child's true parentage. With the truth revealed, he announces he's filing for divorce and will have his lawyer reclaim every cent they took from him. As Xiao Nan screams in protest, security arrives and escorts the entire deceitful family out. The scandal quickly makes headlines. Back home, Chuchu reports her successful operation to Song Chen, who commends her for her hard work. Chuchu feels a sense of justice, having rewritten the tragic fate that awaited the kind-hearted Zhang Kai in the original story. The focus shifts to a film set, where director Lu Shanhe is berating actress Cao Yuezhi for her terrible acting. Gu Mengxi, the female lead, kindly consoles her rival after the director calls a wrap. The crew's whispers of praise for Manxi and scorn for Cao Yueji only fuel the latter's resentment. She's convinced Manxi is intentionally humiliating her. Later, Cao Yueji receives a text from Mr. Wang, the president of a rival company who has been trying to poach her. While she finds him creepy, she's tempted by the offer. Unbeknownst to her, Mr. Wang is plotting to ruin her if she refuses, ensuring she'll come crawling to him one way or another. At dinner, Song Chen expresses his distrust of Chuchu's new friend from the powerful Cheng family, but Manxi teases him for being overprotective. Their tender moment is interrupted when Manxi starts coughing, having caught a cold from filming in the rain. Song Chen immediately fusses over her, carrying her to bed to rest. Lying there, Manxi reflects on how drastically her life has improved, feeling a deep sense of happiness and hope for the future. The next day on set, director Liu tells Cao Yueji to learn from Manxi's natural acting style, which further infuriates her. Just then, his phone rings with a call from my dear wife. It's Manxi, who has also seen the negative comments online. Her jealousy reaches a boiling point when she sees Song Chen being affectionate with Manxi on set. He tells her that he is waiting for the day she says yes to marrying him, so he can finally announce her existence to the world openly and honorably. Flustered by the sudden talk of marriage, Manxi says she isn't ready. She hatches a new plan, believing Manxi has lied to Song Chen about having a child. Cao Yueji immediately contacts Mr. Wang to accept his offer. He implies that her first task is to steal the script for director Liu's new movie. Dejected but determined, Song Chen resolves to prove his sincerity. His first step, find time to talk to Cheng Qingyun and finally break off their long-standing engagement. However, Chuchu has been tracking her every move. Seeing Cao Yueji head to the studio late at night, she knows something is wrong and follows. Chuchu discovers Cao Yueji rummaging through the director's office and finds her with the stolen script. Caught red-handed, Cao Yueji tries to lie, but Chuchu isn't buying it. The actress then decides to pivot, seeing a chance to get a strand of Chuchu's hair for a DNA test to expose Manxi. After he playfully pinches her cheeks, Chuchu decides he needs to sober up and shoves a strawberry into his mouth. As Cao Yueji gives chase, Chuchu recites a list of the actress's dirty secrets, all the scandals she had worked so hard to bury online. They insinuate that Manxi slept her way into the industry, making crude remarks about what a woman and a director would do alone at night. Manchi turns to face them, her expression sharp. She asks if they see any dogs because she can certainly hear barking. Chuchu immediately runs into his arms, putting on a masterful performance of a terrified child, claiming Cao Yueji attacked her. She furiously tells them to stop gossiping and start earning a living, then launches into a tirade against their prejudice. She demands to know if they've ever even met Gu Manxi, telling them their mouths are full of baseless rumors and disrespect for women. Cao Yueji fumbles for an excuse, but Chuchu expertly dismantles it, tearfully recounting how the actress was chasing her for a hair sample and secretly photographing the script. Manchi formally introduces herself, revealing that she is Gu Manxi's sister and is there for the audition. He informs her she is fired. As her last resort, Cao Yueji spits out what she thinks is her trump card. She reveals that Chuchu is Manxi's biological daughter, calling the child a fatherless bastard. To her utter shock, Song Chen replies calmly that he already knows and better than anyone. She humbly asks for any role, no matter how small. Director Liu, already decided, stuns her by offering her the part of the second female lead on the spot. Chuchu fiercely defends her mother, describing the endless hours Manxi spends studying her scripts and preparing for her roles. Overcome with joy, Manchi bursts into tears, thanking him profusely and promising not to let him down. Chuchu can only watch, completely bewildered by the whirlwind of events. Later, director Liu reveals to Song Chen and Manxi that the stolen script was just an early, worthless draft he had already discarded. When Manchi defends her sister, saying they were wrong to plot against her, her mother explodes with rage, calling Gu Manxi trash and a disgrace. Listening to the conversation, Manxi has a sudden realization. It was Cao Yueji who drugged her drink all those years ago, the very act that led her to Song Chen's room. As she stares at Song Chen with this new understanding, he suddenly feels dizzy and complains of a concussion from being hit by the papers. He has a tiny scratch on his brow and Manxi fusses over him, ready to call a doctor. Liu Shan and Chuchu can only watch in silent exasperation as the phony daddy milks the minor injury for all it's worth. An online firestorm erupts as Cao Yueji's fans bombard Song Entertainment's social media accounts with hateful comments. Mr. Song reads through the vitriol, his expression hardening as he sees them attacking not only his company but Gu Manxi personally. He realizes Yueji has hired an online mob to trash Manxi after jumping ship to a new company. Furious, he tells his assistant to issue a blacklisting order on Cao Yueji immediately. He then adds a chilling command. It was time for the Wang Group Yueji's backers to feel the cold, a slang phrase for going bankrupt. Just then, his phone rings with a call from my dear wife. It's Manxi, who has also seen the negative comments online. She calmly tells him not to get involved for now. She suspects Yueji is up to something bigger, remembering her strange request for their daughter Chuchu's hair. Manxi fears Yueji knows about their relationship and might try to expose them, putting Chuchu in danger. She can handle public pressure, but she refuses to let her young daughter take that risk. Song Chen is impressed by her cool-headedness. He tells her that he is waiting for the day she says yes to marrying him, so he can finally announce her existence to the world openly and honorably. Flustered by the sudden talk of marriage, Manxi says she isn't ready. He eagerly suggests getting engaged first, but his desperation only earns him a dial tone as she abruptly hangs up. Dejected but determined, Song Chen resolves to prove his sincerity. His first step, find time to talk to Cheng Qingyun and finally break off their long-standing engagement. He understands the online mob attacking Manxi must be backed by the Wang Group. He had shown them mercy for years out of respect for their elder, but now he sees they've mistaken his kindness for weakness. Since Manxi has asked him not to blacklist Yueji yet, he decides on a slower, more painful path. He will take away everything she has until she wishes she were dead. Meanwhile, their daughter Chuchu lounges on the sofa, scrolling through her phone and wondering why her dumbass daddy hasn't just blacklisted Yueji directly. Her quiet afternoon is interrupted by the arrival of Director Liu, who is completely drunk and complaining about the disastrous auditions for the second female lead. He drunkenly laments that Chuchu isn't 20 or his problems would be solved. After he playfully pinches her cheeks, Chuchu decides he needs to sober up and shoves a strawberry into his mouth. This only makes him more delirious, as he laughs about how delicious the red, sweet strawberry is. At the audition site, a beautifully dressed woman with magenta hair named Zhao Manchi receives her number tag, 37. As she waits, she overhears two crew members gossiping, blaming Gu Manxi for Cao Yueji quitting and forcing a halt in production. They insinuate that Manxi slept her way into the industry, making crude remarks about what a woman and a director would do alone at night. Manchi turns to face them, her expression sharp. She asks if they see any dogs because she can certainly hear barking. She furiously tells them to stop gossiping and start earning a living, then launches into a tirade against their prejudice. She demands to know if they've ever even met Gu Manxi, telling them their mouths are full of baseless rumors and disrespect for women. She declares that it's okay for a man to be incompetent, but to have no morals makes him trash. Director Liu and Chuchu arrive just in time to witness the confrontation. Chuchu is stunned, wondering if Zhao Manchi has been possessed to be defending her mother so fiercely. Director Liu, however, sees something else entirely. He's captivated by her spirit, willful, headstrong, and sweet yet cunning. He realizes with a jolt that this is the perfect actress for the second female lead he's been searching for. Manchi formally introduces herself, revealing that she is Gu Manxi's sister and is there for the audition. She humbly asks for any role, no matter how small. Director Liu, already decided, stuns her by offering her the part of the second female lead on the spot. Overcome with joy, Manchi bursts into tears, thanking him profusely and promising not to let him down. Chuchu can only watch, completely bewildered by the whirlwind of events. Later at home, Manchi's mother congratulates her, already scheming for her to use the role to get close to Song Chen. When Manchi defends her sister, saying they were wrong to plot against her, her mother explodes with rage, calling Gu Manxi trash and a disgrace. She orders her daughter to forget such useless thoughts and focus on seducing Song Chen, forbidding a filthy woman like Manxi from marrying into the Song family. After her mother leaves, Manchi sits alone, reflecting on how her big brother ran away, her sister cut ties, and her father is never around, leaving her in a frighteningly cold and empty home. Back on set, filming resumes with Manchi as the new second lead. They film an intense, rainy confrontation where Manchi's character screams at Manxi's, accusing her of exposing her father. Manxi's character coldly replies that he was a traitor with the blood of hundreds on his hands and deserved to die. The take is perfect, and the crew remarks on how much more smoothly filming goes with Manchi than it ever did with Cao Yueji. Off-camera, Manchi's demeanor flips entirely. She becomes incredibly clingy, constantly calling Manxi sis and wanting to change clothes, review scripts, and go shopping together. Chuchu watches this sudden personality change with extreme suspicion, finding her behavior intensely annoying. That night, Song Chen pays a visit, bringing a box of juicy peaches. He greets Chuchu, who tells him about her friend Cheng Kai's older brother being gravely ill. Song Chen is privately enraged. vowing to make that punk Cheng Kai die first for spouting such nonsense to his daughter. When Manxi appears, he offers her the peaches, but she coolly tells him it's too late and he should head back. He then tries a pathetic excuse, claiming his car is out of its special fuel and he has nowhere to go. Manxi, unimpressed, tells him to take a taxi. His shameless pleading shocks Manchi, who can't believe this is the decisive president song. She suddenly understands he's pursuing her sister. As Manxi and Song Chen go outside to talk, Chuchu stops a sputtering Manchi by shoving a peach in her mouth. Chuchu then pats her on the arm and sweetly calls her little auntie, sending Manchi into a state of ecstatic bliss. Outside, Song Chen tells Manxi that her sister was just trying to protect her. He then nervously asks to bring Chuchu to his grandfather's 80th birthday party. Manxi immediately refuses, horrified at the thought of Chuchu being introduced to the Song family. He grabs her hands, desperately explaining he isn't trying to take their daughter but simply wants his grandfather to meet her. He again professes his desire to marry her, promising he can handle everything if she just agrees. Overwhelmed, Manxi pulls away. After a moment of thought, however, she relents, agreeing it isn't fair to keep a great-grandfather from his only great-grandchild, on the condition that he guarantees Chuchu's safety. Song Chen is overjoyed, waving goodbye like an excited child. When Manxi returns inside, Manchi warns her to stay away from Song Chen, revealing he has a fiancé named Cheng Qingyun, who is known to be difficult. Manxi isn't surprised, affirming that she knows he's a scumbag. That's precisely why she needs to work hard and stand tall on her own, not as a vine clinging to a big tree, but as her own son. Manchi looks at her sister with newfound adoration. Unbeknownst to them, Chuchu lies in bed, pretending to be asleep, eagerly anticipating a chance to finally confront Cheng Qingyun at the party. At the lavish Song estate, old Master Song escapes the crowd to rest in the garden. There, he discovers a little girl with pink hair, Chuchu, stretching to reach a bunch of grapes. He's amused by the cute, chubby-cheeked child and warns her that those particular grapes aren't for eating. Chuchu turns, her plan set in motion. She gives him a perfect, polite apology, explaining she got lost and was just very hungry. The old man's heart melts instantly at her incredible manners. He is completely smitten, feeling for the first time what it's like to have a great-granddaughter. He immediately has a servant prepare a meal for her in the gardens. While she waits, Chuchu silently notes that the wheelchair is intact, meaning Cheng Qingyun, who in the original story tries to kill him, hasn't arrived yet. Old Master Song gently asks where her parents are. Chuchu explains her mother is busy with work and that she doesn't currently have a daddy. The old man's heart aches for the pitiful child, and he sighs that if his own grandson had married earlier, his great-granddaughter might be her age by now. He complains that his grandson shows no interest in women, leaving him with a lukewarm fiancé and causing him to question the boy's orientation. Meanwhile, at the party entrance, Song Chen sneezes. He's suddenly confronted by Cheng Kaiyuan and his son, Cheng Kai. While the older men exchange false pleasantries, Cheng Kai immediately demands to know where Chuchu is. Song Chen's eyes flash with fury, seeing the boy as a wolf in sheep's clothing for targeting his precious daughter. He curtly dismisses them and walks away. Back in the garden, a servant announces the arrival of Cheng Qingyun. Chuchu immediately ducks under the table, telling the old master that her mommy will scold her for eating snacks. An elegant woman in a stylish hat approaches, presenting a gift of rare, expensive tea. Cheng Qingyun approaches Elder Song, the patriarch of the powerful Song family, with tears in her eyes. But the old man is far from foolish. With a cold, unwavering gaze, he tells her to leave. He bluntly informs her that the Song family doesn't need her, questioning the wisdom of having a child who might inherit her supposed illness. Cheng Qingyun approaches Elder Song, the patriarch of the powerful Song family, with tears in her eyes. She spins a tragic tale, claiming to have a terminal congenital heart defect with no hope for a cure. Her one dying wish, she tearfully explains, is to bear his grandson's child and continue the Song family bloodline, professing that she doesn't even care about marriage. Internally, however, she scoffs at her own performance, confident that the family's desire for an heir will force them to accept her terms. But the old man is far from foolish. With a cold, unwavering gaze, he tells her to leave. He bluntly informs her that the Song family doesn't need her, questioning the wisdom of having a child who might inherit her supposed illness. He dismisses her importance, stating that his grandson is young and will find someone else to marry and have children with someday. As a final blow, he offers to cover her medical bills as compensation for canceling their engagement, shattering her carefully laid plans. Hiding nearby, little Chuchu stifles a laugh, impressed by her great-grandfather's sharp insight. Elder Song offers Qingyun one last piece of advice, warning her about the dangers of living behind a mask. Kinghyun seethes with fury but forces a smile, pretending to accept his lesson. Under the pretense of pushing his wheelchair, Kinghyun makes her move, her friendly facade dropping to reveal a sinister glare. She discreetly pulls out a sharp blade, preparing to harm the old man. Before she can act, Chuchu springs her own trap, crying ouch as she accidentally bumps into a nearby table. She emerges from her hiding spot, innocently explaining that she was just watching an ant. Chuchu then offers to bring the unwell Miss Chang a cup of hot fruit tea. The sudden shock and pain cause Kinghyun to cry out and drop the concealed blade, which clatters onto the stone patio. The sudden shock and pain cause Kinghyun to cry out and drop the concealed blade, which clatters onto the stone patio. Chuchu immediately points to the weapon, exclaiming that it's a blade, which instantly puts Elder Song on high alert. Panicked, Kinghyun scrambles for an excuse, claiming it's merely an eyebrow razor that got stuck in her clothes by accident. Unimpressed, Elder Song cuts her off and dismisses her, telling her to go home and rest. Internally, Kinghyun rages, realizing she's lost her chance to make him disappear. Suddenly, a young man with blonde hair appears, cheerfully greeting the group. At the sight of him, Kinghyun's face contorts in terror. She recognizes him as Cheng Kai, the tyrant of her family, and realizes she must flee immediately or face a horrible fate. She bolts without another word, leaving a confused Chuchu wondering why the story's power dynamics have suddenly reversed. As she storms away, Kinghyun fumes over her failures, vowing revenge against the old man, the little girl, and the newly arrived Cheng Kai. She swears that anyone who stands in her way will die. Just then, Chuchu catches up to her, a sweet smile on her face. Holding out the dropped weapon, she innocently offers it back, reminding Kinghyun that she forgot her eyebrow razor. The taunt leaves Kinghyun speechless, her face twisted in pure, unadulterated rage.